Hi, first grade friends. Welcome to our zoo week. I am so excited for this week. It's going to be lots of fun. I hope you have had a chance to check out our virtual tour at the zoo and some of the animals that are there. Also, the teachers are reading stories about some animals or about zoos, and maybe you can gather information there. Today, what we're doing is we are writing about our favorite animal from the zoo. So what I did was I looked at all the animals during my virtual tour of the zoo, and then I decided I really like the giraffe a lot. So then I went back to it and I checked it out again and read some information about giraffes. And so I jotted down a few facts. It's important to have at least 3 facts about an animal so you could write about them. Some of my facts are that giraffes can be between 16 to 18 feet tall, and their necks and their legs can be as long as 6 feet. Pretty remarkable. They live in the savanna in Africa. And the reason why they have really long necks and legs is because they can reach really high up into trees and eat leaves. They eat for about 16 to 20 hours a day in a 24-hour period. That's how long a day lasts, is 24 hours, and they eat leaves 16 to 20 hours of that time. They only sleep for about 30 minutes a day. That's all they need. And another fact I learned is that their spots are considered like a camouflage, and when they all join together when they see a predator, they get huddled really close together, and the predator cannot separate one from the other. So it just looks like a ginormous giraffe instead of singling out separate ones. So that's what that camouflage spots do. It makes it hard to separate the giraffe from one another. I thought that was pretty cool, interesting facts. So now I'm starting my story, and I started with a picture. And my picture, let me show you a little bit closer. I started with a picture and I labeled it. You see that? So I wanted friends to understand what my picture meant. So I labeled the giraffe. I labeled where it's living, where it's standing in Savannah, Africa. Then I loved the long neck. Its tongue reaches out there to grab the leaves. Of course, what these are leaves and the tree. So first I drew a picture of what I wanted to write about and I labeled it. Now I'm going to tell at least 3 facts about my animal that I chose from the zoo. So I'm going to start with, where do giraffes live? And I talked about that they live in the savanna of Africa. So I'm going to start that in my story. I'm going to write giraffes live in the savanna. That's like the desert of Africa, the continent. Okay? That's an interesting fact, their habitat. Next, I'm going to describe how big they are. Okay? So I'm going to write, they can be as tall as 14 to 18 feet high, with legs and necks 6 feet long. So when we're talking about giraffes, their necks, I said, could be 6 feet long, as well as their legs. Okay? The next thing I wanted to talk about is, what do they eat? So I talked about their habitat. I talked about their body and how tall and how big they are. Now I want to talk about, what do they eat? Okay? They are herbivores. So giraffes eat leaves from trees. And that's why they have their long necks. Okay. I think I'm going to throw in there also how long they eat those leaves, because I thought that was really amazing. Remember I said that they eat 16 to 20 hours a day? So I'm going to write they eat for up to 16 to 20 hours a day, and only sleeping for 30 minutes a day. That's some pretty cool information. Now I already have 3, but I'm going to add one more. The one I talked to you about, their camouflage, because I thought that was pretty cool. So one more fact I'm going to give. So I'm actually giving 4 facts, right? And on the next page, I'm going to write that the spots on giraffe are to help camouflage them. Predators cannot separate giraffe from their herd. The spots make it hard to tell the difference between each giraffe. So instead of camouflage helping them hide between bushes or trees or other of their habitat, the camouflage helps them to push together as a herd and become one giant giraffe, or make it difficult to separate the sizes or bodies of the giraffe for a predator to be able to get a giraffe alone. So that I thought was pretty cool, so I wrote that. So here is my story that I shared with you. Giraffes live in the savanna of Africa. They can be as tall as 14 to 18 feet high, with legs and necks 6 feet long. Giraffes eat, and see, I'm doing my corrections as I'm rereading it, making those checks, making sure I have punctuation, correcting my grammar, correcting any errors I make in writing. Giraffes eat leaves from trees. They eat for up to 16 to 20 hours a day and only sleeping for 30 minutes a day. Next, the spots on giraffe are to help camouflage them. Predators cannot separate giraffe from their herd. The spots make it hard to tell the difference between each giraffe. So they don't know if it's one big giant giraffe or one smaller one next to it. They can't tell the difference. So they don't want to mess with it because they don't know how big it is. If it's one giant one or just a bunch of little ones. They can't tell that. So that's pretty good information. I hope that you enjoyed my writing about my favorite animal at the zoo. I look forward to reading about your favorite animal. Remember, when you're writing your story, you might start off by listing some facts that you know. You have 3 facts, like their habitat, where they live, what they eat, and some neat information about them, maybe about how they protect themselves, or how they swim, or any other cool fact about them, you could include that. All right, friends, I hope you're enjoying our Zoo Week. I look forward to those stories. Please write about your favorite animal from the zoo so I could check it out. Enjoy this week, and I will see you later. Bye, friends.